Jaya Rama Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Vijaya Vijaya Yashodanandana Brajajan Yashodanandana Brajajan Yashodanandana Brajajan Yashodanandana Brajajan Yamuna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Om Jnanatmirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutamada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshitarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we'll continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we have stopped at verse number 44. Let's start with 40. So once again, we welcome all the devotees and thank you for your association. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we'll continue study of Srimad Bhagavatam from Canto 1. We are continuing with chapter 8. The prayers of Queen Kunti and Maharaj Parikshit Sev. That's the chapter. So we'll try to complete this chapter. We like 8-10 verses. Maybe. Huh? Oh, we can turn on the fan. Yeah.
I'm just hot because I walked all the way from
No, but we
the
can.
thing.
Probably that is a switch.
That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, then another one. Yeah.
Thank you. Because I walked all the way.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So whatever that we are going to study is from the scripture translated by our beloved Gurudev Sri Srila Prabhupada. And whatever commentary that he's written, we are going to read that and study that. So nothing is mine, everything is coming from Parampara. I'm just trying to be an instrument to serve all of you. And any mistake that may happen is on my behalf, and all the credit may go to our Guru. Hare Krishna. So verse number 45 talks about. So last time we saw that Queen Kunti tried to stop Lord Sri Krishna, and how he responded in the end. He just smiled. He gave a very beautiful smile. That's how that's where we stop. So now Yudhishthira Maharaj is coming and expressing his love, his affection towards Sri Krishna. So what is he doing here? Let's understand. Hare Krishna, please come. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, please come. Hare Krishna. Please come. Hi, Hare Krishna, please. Hare Krishna. So we'll go through the words and we'll try to understand. All the purport now that is coming, they're very, very beautiful. Lot of deep meaning and lot to learn from each of this. How the quality of Yudhishthira Maharaj is being exhibited in all this. So it's wonderful. Okay, so let's recite this word. Tambadam iti upamantrya pravishya gajasahavyam striyascha swa puram yasyan premna ragna nivaritah. Robert Rule, can you please read translation?
Thus accepting the prayers of Srimati Kuntadevi, the Lord subsequently informed other ladies of his departure by entering the palace of Hastinapur. But upon preparing to leave, he was stopped by King Yudhishthira, who implored him lovingly. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So all the translation and purport by our beloved Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now let us introspect on these words. It's so important. Whenever we have somebody like mother has come, when she leaves, she will say, no, please stay for a few more days. You know? Why? Because there is a love, there is an affection, right? If she is doing okay, and Mata says, no, chalo, we'll go now itself. She'll carry, there is no love. It's not that she doesn't want to go. She will go on that day wherever she decides. But if somebody stops, there is a loving exchange which is happening. So same thing is happening here. Earlier, Mother Kunti tried to stop Sri Krishna. Are, we are going. Because of you, we are saved. Everything, she glorified so many things about Sri Krishna. And now, here we see Yudhishthira Maharaj is trying to stop. So, if you have understood other chapter which are coming in, will Yudhishthira Maharaj be successful in stopping Sri Krishna? Anybody, any guesses? No? Okay. No? Okay. All right, we'll see what happens. You don't have to answer it. Bhagavatam will reveal after shloka. Bhagavatam batayega kya hai. So, let's read the purport. Now, see what Prabhupada is saying here. No one could make Lord Krishna stay at Hastinapur when he decided to start for Dwarka. But the simple request of King Yudhishthira that the Lord remain there for a few days more was immediately effective. So that means he's going to stay. So it's going to immediately effective. So what is this? Why? It's a love. When a devotee lovingly tells something to Bhagavan, Bhagavan will accept. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Give me just how? With love and devotion. भक्ति से आप मुझे कुछ भी दो, so मुझे तुरंत वो सब चीजें मिलेगी. I will accept all this. That's why he did not go to eat Chappan Bhog offered by Duryodhana, but he went to Vidura and had some banana peel. That two banana peels, not even banana. Out of overwhelm affection and love. Vidurani forgot what she is giving. She was giving peel and throwing banana. That happens sometimes. So yeah, nowadays it happens the other way. Like mother is busy on a phone and then she's feeding and the spoon is giving somewhere. Mom and child says, "Mommy, is there?" But that is different affection towards other world. But this is how it is. So it was very effective. This signifies that the power of King Yudhishthira was loving affection, which the Lord could not deny. Same thing, Lord could not deny. The Almighty God is thus conquered by only by loving service and nothing else. He is fully independent in all his dealings, but he voluntarily accepts obligations by the loving affection of pure devotee. He is independent. He can do anything that he wants at any time. He could leave, but he is just staying. Why? Because there is a love which is shown by. So we'll see some references now. So here, how Krishna can be stopped? Here he says, Krishna will listen our prayer. This is Yudhishthira Maharaj's prayer only, right? He's praying to Krishna that please stay. When he will stay? So let's recite this word. Sharanga Sharanagati Hoibe Jahara. Sharanagati Hoibe Jahara. Tahara Prarthana Sune. Srinanda Kumara. Yes. So, what is being told here? So, Prabhu, can you please read?
Translation. The youthful son of Nandu Maharaj, Sri Krishna, hears the prayer of anyone who takes refuge in him by this sixfold practice.
Hmm.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What are those sixfold practices? We can say Dainya Atma Nivedana. You can say Dainya Atma Nivedana. Goprutre Varana. Goprutre Varana. Avashya Rakshive Krishna Vishwasa Palana. Avashya Rakshive Krishna Vishwasa Palana. Bhakti Anukula Matra Karaye Svikara. Bhakti Anukula Matra Karaye Svikara. Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Brajana Angikara. Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Brajana Angikara means I will accept only which is favorable for bhakti. I will reject everything which is unfavorable for bhakti. One who does all these things, one who completely surrender to Krishna, Goptutre Varana means complete surrender, 100%. We see so many examples where when devotee fully surrendered, then Krishna came himself. Gajendra, Draupadi, fully surrendered. No, I have nobody else. Till then they were trying their own might, everybody they tried. Krishna did not come. Krishna comes only when we fully surrender. Only him as protector. Avashya Rakshive Krishna. Krishna will protect me. That Vishwas we should have. That trust, faith we should have. That is important. So there is two different, like one is Shraddha and one is Vishwas. Shraddha means what? Have faith, he will do it. Vishwas means Drid Shraddha, means he will do it. That is Vishwas. Okay. Another verse where it says, so this is very important. Tahara Pratna Shune, Sri Nanda Kumar. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So this is very, very important. Next, in Padyavali, look at this here. Krishna does not accept anything like, Dhruva's maturity, Gajendra's knowledge, all these things. No. Why he comes? Bhaktya tushyati kevalam nache guner bhakti priyo madhava. He says, Lord Madhava, Lord Krishna is pleased by what? Only devotional service. No material qualification. how much shloka we know, how nicely we sing kirtan, how nicely I play mridanga, how nicely I'm dancing. This doesn't matter. In spiritual world, these things have no meaning. All these things have no meaning at all. Because all the service that we are doing will be different service if we go back to God. So maybe for Robert Prue, it might continue serving flowers in Nikunja. The way he serves here is lovingly doing such a wonderful service. He may continue. I don't know about our service.
I hope so.
Because he was telling me, he came here and we were discussing. He said, this time I was able to do Pandav Nirjal Ekadasi. I had no strength. He said, I prayed to Srimati Radharani. Said, please give me strength. I want to do. And he was able to do it. So mercy is flowing. We have to pray. Prayer is listen. Krishna listens to our prayers. Krishna listens to our prayers. But those prayers have to be favorable for his service, not for our. Our prayers are normally what? Normally human being prayer for ourselves. This material desires, so much problem, things not happening in life. We request for all these things. But when our prayers are for his service, then he will definitely fulfill. Why not? Right? So Krishna is like that. Okay. Any example where Krishna breaks his promises to fulfill the desire of his devotees? Any examples?
In the battle, right? He was
Yeah.
going to lift a weapon, and he did.
Yes.
Yeah, Sudarshan.
Yes. No, he took the chakra of the Rath, the wheel of the Rath. So his name was Rathangapan. He got named Rathangapan. So next chapter when we read, that is Bhishma Stuti, in this name will come. So we'll study. That's a very wonderful chapter. After this, it will start. Next week we'll start it. Yes, very nice. So here, Bhishma Dev, Krishna played a trick and took those 5 bows, asked Arjun to take 5 bows from Duryodhana, and he took it. And Bhishma came to know. Then Bhishma took a vow that no problem, I'll make sure that Krishna picks up his weapon. I'll fight so intensely that Krishna will pick up. So just to fulfill the vow of his disciple, his devotee, which is Bhishma Dev. Out of what? Out of love. He has love for Bhishma Dev. That's why he did that. Suppose, for example, if suppose our friend is coming at the midnight in the airport and all this very tired. Oh, please pick up Uber and come. Na? Why you? We will tell them. Our child is coming. No, I'm coming. You see, because there is a love, more love. Right? We are, I have to take care of my child. He'll be alone. What he will do? All this thought will come out of our mind. Right? Same thing here. Krishna loves all of us, especially devotees. A lot of love is given. That's why he's ready to break his own promise. Okay, other examples where Krishna was overcome by the love of the devotee. What do we do in Kartik month? What happened there? Yes, it happened. But in that, what actually were the detail? I'm looking for details now. That. No, not Lankul, not that.
Yes.
He was not getting bound. Then he saw, my mother is perspiring, so much trouble. Okay, mom. So Krishna, who could not be bound by the whole rope which was get from whole Vrindavan, and finally he gave it up, surrendered. Krishna is surrendered to his devotees. That's what it is. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada wanted to go on a parikrama in Vrindavan, and the last Antya Leela of Srila Prabhupada, where Loknath Maharaj, he arranged. Prabhupada had a desire. I want to do a Govardhan parikrama. Now, Prabhupada was very fragile, very weak. Even from turning him from side to side, 3-4 devotees are required. Like that, he was become very weak. So Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, his personal servant, he felt, Prabhupada, you're so weak. We don't want you to suffer. Please don't go. He was crying. And Prabhupada surrendered. Prabhupada gave up his desire for his loving devotee. So this is how the loving exchange happened between the Lord and his pure devotees. Similarly, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sanatan Goswami, he was requesting Mahaprabhu when Mahaprabhu went to Ramkeli. Chaitanya Sanatan Goswami said, Mahaprabhu, don't go to Vrindavan with millions of followers, because Vrindavan is for doing bhajan, not for taking so many devotees there. So you go with few devotees, few servants. So then Mahaprabhu came back from Ramkeli to Jagannath Puri. And then later on, he went to Vrindavan with Balabhadra Bhattacharya and few more devotees. So like that. So Mahaprabhu said, no, who are you? I'll go. No, he listens. So Lord always listens. Our desires should be favorable. Okay, so let's go to next verse. Verse number 46. Vyasya Ishware Hagnei Krishnenadbhuta Karmana Prabodhito Apitihasai Nabhudyata Sucharpitah. Can you please read it? Oh, it's not there? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
King Yudhishthira, who was much agreed, could not be convinced despite instructions by great sages headed by Yasa and Lord Krishna himself, the performer of superhuman feats, and despite all historical evidence.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So here, Maharaj Yudhishthira was aggrieved like a common man. Now, when the Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned, Acharya's commentary, everybody listened. Entire battlefield, everybody listened to Bhagavad Gita. But only Arjun was able to take instructions. Krishna was speaking, everybody listened. So, Maharaj Yudhishthira also knew, right? That we are not body, we are the soul. He knew about it, but still lamenting. Okay, so we'll see why he is doing so, and that we can understand from the purport. So purport. Thus, the pious king Yudhishthira was mortified because of the mass massacre of human beings in the battle of Kurukshetra, especially on this account, on his account, because he was made a king. So he thinks that because I was to made a king, this is all the massacre happened. Duryodhana was there on the throne and he was doing well in his administration. And in one sense, there was no need of fighting. He was doing well. There is no need to fight. He was not like harassing people and all that. He was not doing all those things. He just wanted to rule and be the boss kind of thing. That's it. Nothing else. But on the principle of justice, Yudhishthira was to replace him. Principle of justice means he is the eldest son in the parampara, so he should be the king. And he is a pious person, so it should be. So that's what the whole reason. The whole clique of politics center around this point, and all the kings and residents of the whole world became involved in the fight between the rival brothers. Lord Krishna was also there on the side of King Yudhishthira. It is said that in Mahabharata, Adi Parva 20, that 640 million men were killed in the 18 days of the battle of Kurukshetra. Then some hundreds of thousands were missing. 640 million people died. This is the biggest battle ever fought in the history of the world. 640 million. That too in how many? 18 days. We talk about millions of people in World War I and World War II, but that was fought for years. This is just 18 days. So it's a very huge massacre. I mean, you cannot imagine this. Just think about it. 640 million. That's number is very huge. Practically, this was the greatest battle in the world within 5,000 years. This mass killing simply to enthrone Maharaj Yudhishthira was too mortifying, so he tried to be convinced with evidences from histories by great sages like Vyasa and the Lord himself that the fight was just because the cause was just. Just because reason is there, right reason, I will fight. That is why he's lamenting. Alright, just for right, why so much massacre? That's not good. But Maharaj Yudhishthira would not be satisfied. Even though he was instructed by the greatest personality of the time, Krishna is designated herein as the performer of superhuman action. But in this particular instance, neither he nor Vyasa could convince King Yudhishthira. So now here, question. Does it mean that he failed to be a superhuman actor? No, certainly not. So let's see some example. So we are saying that Krishna actually failed to convince Maharaj Yudhishthira, specify. Now here there is a word which is used, Adbhuta Karmana. Krishna, Adbhuta Karma means what? The one who performs superhuman tasks all the world. Like Krishna lifted go over the Adbhut, we cannot imagine, right? So now give me one example where Krishna's mission failed. I know if you see from the material world, we feel that Krishna failed in that mission. Any example? From Mahabharata only we can give. From Mahabharata we can give. No, he had no mission for that. Right? That was war going on. That was fight going on. But Krishna was sent on a particular mission that you to go and do it, and then he failed in that. That, I mean, from material point of view, he failed.
Convincing Duryodhan.
He was sent as a Shanti Dut. No war. But he did not. Now, from material point of view, we feel that, oh, Krishna, he can do anything. Why he failed? But actually, what? Krishna wanted the war to happen. So Krishna is very, very greatest diplomat, right? For example, when Krishna was in Mahabharata, if you read, it is mentioned that when Krishna was leaving for the Shanti discussion, Draupadi was hiding behind the door and Krishna was leaving, and she is now Krishna about to leave, and she says, Krishna, where are you going? You are becoming Shantidut to avoid the war? And you are talking to the Duryodhana who humiliated me in front of so many people in Kurusama? How could you do this? Do you see my open hair? This hair which I open? It will only be, I will only be able to tie only after the Dushasan's blood is touched to my hair. So how can you go and do this? Krishna smiled and told, don't worry, I'll go and tell, but they will not get convinced. So Krishna was able to keep Draupadi happy, and Duryodhana also, Yudhishthira Maharaj also happy. Okay, he went and Shantidut. So both were happy. So this is how it's called win-win. Krishna makes everybody win, right? So by hearing all these things, we feel our love for Krishna will keep increasing because how wonderfully he does all the tasks. So we have to see this point, like, he went to Shantidut, he did this and come back and all that. I mean, if you read, it's like that simple task. But when you see how Acharya is commenting on that, then the nectar will come. Oh, wow, this is how it is. So he was sent. So Krishna failed himself so that war can happen. So this is how Krishna is arranging all the things very nicely. The interpretation is that the Lord as Ishvara or the Super Soul in the hearts of both King Yudhishthira and Vyasa performed still more superhuman actions because the Lord desired it. Because he desired, therefore, Yudhishthira Maharaj was not convinced. See, Lord is making his desire. We'll see why. Prabhupada will reveal why that is happening. That why Krishna is not able to convince Yudhishthira Maharaj. The real truth will come. And it is so astonishing that we'll see that how wonderful Krishna loves his devotees so much, so much. Out from the external perspective, it feels that, oh, he can't even convince this person. Sometimes, father is not able to convince the child. Are he's their own child, why can't he convince it like that? Sometimes it happens that. Yes, mother.
So, a question, why Vyasadeva is being referenced? This is going on between Krishna and Yudhishthira, right?
No, no. So this is the lamentation where Vyasdev was present, and they all were trying to specify Yudhishthira Maharaj that this is not happening.
Because
That's
Vyasadeva has still told is to
Which one? Mahabharata was
No.
told to Vyasdev. When it was written by Ganeshji.
no.
But Vyasdev gave vision to Sanjay, so he can see this. Vyasdev
Right.
gave vision.
But this was entirely written by Goswami, right?
Which Goswami? No, no. Tulsidas Goswami. Which Goswami?
Okay.
No, no. Sukdev Goswami spoke
Bhagavatam.
Bhagavatam, but this is a piece of Mahabharata.
Okay.
See, this is a piece, this is a story from Mahabharata which is being spoken by Sukdev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj.
So he is giving a reference from Mahabharata to Parikshit Maharaj.
Okay.
This is not a Mahabharata. I mean, this is Mahabharata, but Sukdev Goswami is narrating this pastime to Parikshit Maharaj. That's what he is.
Please, in Mahabharata, said she has what you said
Ah,
makes sense.
that's how it is. Yes. So, yes. As super soul of King Yudhishthira, he did not allow the king to be convinced by the words of Vyasa and others, including himself. Now you see, this is the reason. By the words of Vyasa and others, including himself, because he desired that the king hear instruction from the dying Bhishmadev, who was another great devotee of the Lord. See, this is the desire of Krishna, that he should listen from Bhishmadev. So all the world will be convinced that, oh, how great Bhishmadev is. So that Bhishmadev is glorified. Krishna could convince Yudhishthira in a moment. There is no doubt about it. But he is allowing his devotee to become greater than him. You will see so many examples where Krishna takes a back seat. In a material world, it's a different thing. I did it. Who did? Oh, yes, I did it. Even if few people supported, yeah, they were like, okay, but I was the main person. Material is different. Spiritual is, no, he did it. He did that. Oh, he did that. You always want to give credit to others. That is the mood in spiritual world. And in a devotee's life also. We don't want to take credits. We take a humble position. Tranadavi Sunishana, Tarodapi Saishana, Amanina Mandena, Kirtaniya Sudhari. That is the mood of a devotee. But that mood we have to exhibit every moment. Sometimes, we may give up this, we may continue to give this mood for a small thing, but when a big thing comes, we might say, okay, I'll just, I was there. Why to let go that credit sometimes? That happens. So it's very subtle, these kind of things. So see how Krishna is playing this very, very wonderful sweetness. Now further, Prabhupada writes here, the Lord wanted that at the last stage of his material existence, the great warrior Bhishmadev see him personally and see his beloved grandchildren, King Yudhishthira, etc., now situated on the throne and thus pass away very peacefully. He's taking care of his devotees. Bhishmadev wanted to see and Krishna appeared in front of him. How many of us will have opportunity to see Krishna face to face before we leave this material world? Very rare, but here Bhishmadev is getting that opportunity. Krishna stands in front of him. And the desire that Bhishmadev had, that the pious person, the Yudhishthira Maharaj should be the king, is also getting established. So it's died peacefully. Most of the people in this world die worrying. Oh, what will happen to my child? Oh, what will happen to my business? Oh, my daughter is not married. And all the tension only they go. People go live this world with all the tension. Desire half fulfilled. But here Bhishmadev is all desires fulfilled. Krishna is making sure this happens. So Krishna loves his devotees so much. We can see from these interactions. Bhishmadev was not at all satisfied to fight against the Pandavas. That obviously everybody knows about it. But he fought, he has to fight because who were his beloved fearless grandchildren. But the Kshatriya are also very stern people, and therefore he was obliged to take the side of Duryodhana because he was maintained at the expense of Duryodhana. So Kshatriya don't change side just like that. Even Drona did not want to fight, but Kripacharya did not want to fight, but they fought on behalf of Duryodhana because Duryodhana maintained them. Duryodhana was paying, take care of them and all those stuff. So they once they decide, no, I will take him. Bhishma also decided and he took the side of that. Besides this, Lord also desired that King Yudhishthira be pacified by the words of Bhishmadev, so that the world could see that Bhishmadev excelled all in knowledge, including the Lord himself. So he's saying the Bhishmadev is even better than Krishna. World will think like that. Oh, Krishna couldn't convince Bhishmadev convince. Wow. Look at Krishna's, mercy on his devotees. So wonderful. This is how the mercy will come. If you surrender to Krishna, complete surrender. Automatically Krishna will give us that position. We don't even have to ask for it. No need of anything. Okay. Okay, Lord shows his devotees are greater than him. Give me some examples. One example at least. That's a very famous example. Lord wants to show his devotees are greater than him. Well, no. Well, the devotees are doing something which he could also do, but he's making his devotees do. Please do it. And then he will glorify. And world will glorify them. Okay, one hint, Ramayana. Not Lankadhar, another one. After that, what happened? Lankadhar. How did they go?
Bridge.
Bridge, yes. All the credit went to monkeys and Hanuman. Oh, monkeys built the bridge and they went. Now Ram could just go. I mean, it's not for him. I mean, crossing ocean is like what? I mean, for him, nothing. And he can take all the army without even building a bridge. And he can build the bridge just by looking at it. The bridge will be there. But he gave, glorified. So now, whom we are remembering, all the monkeys and all the Hanuman, wow, they did the bridge. So Krishna will give, the purpose of the Lord is that give credit to all the devotees, never take. Another example comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita when we read that Ramanand Rai, Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is as Bhagwan, he knows everything, but he wants to listen from Ramanand Rai. Please tell me, please tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. And by this we understand that how knowledgeable Ramanand Rai is. So devotee getting glorified here. Right? So this is how Lord always wants his devotee to be in the limelight. He will take the backstage. In the 47, now Maharaj Yudhishthira was really aggrieved. So what happens? Let's read that. 47. Aharaja Dharmasutas Chintayan Hridam Vadam Prakrutenatmana Vipraha Snehamoha Vasham Gataha.
King Yudhishthira, son of Dharma, overwhelmed by the death of his friends, was aggrieved, just like a common materialistic man. O sages, thus deluded by affection, he began to pray.
So he was like just like a common man. Oh, I killed so many people died. He was like aggrieved like that. So let's see what Prabhupada explains in the purport. King Yudhishthira, though he was not expected to become aggrieved like a common man, because he was Dharmaraj, he knew everything about this knowledge of body and soul. He knew everything, but still he got aggrieved. Became deluded by worldly affection, by the will of the Lord. So this is the will of the Lord. The Lord's wish that he should get aggrieved. Why? Then Bhishmadev will speak to him. Like Arjun, why would Arjun get confused in the battlefield when everything is ready to fight? I mean, why should he get confused? No, it is because Krishna wanted him to get confused so that he can speak Bhagavad Gita and then everybody listens and then next generation will follow that. So that whole purpose of Arjun getting confused is the will of the Lord only. Arjun Arjun knew all these things, but still Lord wanted all of us to learn from that. A man who sees knows well that the living entity is neither the body nor the mind, but is transcendental to the material conception of life. Dehi nosmin yatha deho, right? So that happens. The common man thinks of violence and non-violence in terms of the body, but that is a kind of delusion. Everyone is duty bound according to one's occupational duties. A Kshatriya is bound to fight for the right cause, regardless of the opposition party. In such discharge of duty, one should not be disturbed by annihilation of the material body, which is only an external dress of the living soul. All this was perfectly known to Maharaj Yudhishthira, but by the will of the Lord, he became just like a common man. Because there was another great idea behind this delusion. The king would be instructed by Bhishma as Arjun was instructed by the Lord himself. See, this is the reason how Krishna is making all the wonderful plans so that his devotee get glorified. Sometimes you think that Yudhishthira is such a great king. Person who's going to become the king of the world, how can that person become confused? Then he is not fit to rule the world, right? But look at the plan of the Lord. He wants Bhishma Dev to instruct. And these instructions are very beautiful. When we read the Bhishma Dev Stuti, it's very beautiful. And it is written in very nice meter also. Very beautiful. We'll recite that verses from next. I don't think we'll touch that, but yeah, very beautiful prayers. Okay, let's go to verse number 48. So he is thinking, I'm the most sinful. Now look at the uses tomorrow. He's thinking, I am the most sinful. He is the most pious, but he thinks most sinful. And most of us devotees think that, oh, by chanting, I'm going to go back to Godhead. Nobody has a doubt that I am going to hell. But here he's saying, I am going to hell. He's going to tell that. But yeah, we have different things. So, like that. Okay, let's see. Aho me pashyata gnanam rudirudham duratmanah parakya saiva dehasya bahavyo me akshanir hatah. Yes. Abha, can you please read it?
This statement is full of ignorance. This body, which is ultimately meant for others, has killed many, many thousands.
Hare Krishna. So here now we'll see what is one Akshayana Sena means, the size of the one Sena. And there are 18 Akshayana Sena. 18. That means that many people were there. So let's see the size. This will show the magnanimous war that was fought on that. So a solid phalanx of 21,870 chariots. Okay, 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephants, 109,650 infantry. Infantry means those who are the foot soldier, called infantry. And 65,600 cavalry, which is like on the horses. The soldier on the horse called cavalry. Is called an Akshayani. One Akshayani means this many soldiers. One. And there is in chariot there will be so many, in elephant so many, and all that. So it's huge, very huge. And many Akshayanis were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Maharaj Yudhishthira, as the most pious king of the world, takes for himself the responsibility for killing such a huge number of living beings because the battle was fought to reinstate him on the throne. This body, his thinking, this is Yudhishthira saying, this body is after all meant for others. I was supposed to serve others. While there is life in the body, it is meant for service of others. And when it is dead, it is meant to be eaten by dogs and jackals and maggots. So in many religion, The body is sometimes given to vultures and all that. The whole body is given to vultures. They come and the body is left open. The vulture will come and eat it up. Some it is buried, some are given fire rituals and all that. But the various religions in the world, they have different way of cremating the body. So when the body is live, it is meant for service, not for enjoyment. It's other way today. Everybody wants to enjoy, and everybody wants others to serve him or her. Nobody wants to serve. Everybody wants others to serve. That is the thinking most of the people have in this world. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is feeling very sorry about this. Oh, I was supposed to serve, but instead what happened? I killed so many people. Just because I was to be made king, such a big massacre happened. Such a big, huge. He is sorry because for such a temporary body, such a huge massacre was done. He knows the body is temporary. So for that few years of kingship, so many people were killed. That is what he is feeling. So again, this feeling is coming because Krishna's will. He has knowledge. He is the most pious king. He has all the knowledge, but he's still having this feeling because Krishna want him to feel that. So he is lamenting like that. Now he's saying, I'm the most sinful. Prabhupada is saying he is the most pious. Now he is saying, I'm the most sinful. You see the contrast. So devotees are always like this. Whenever there is a glorification, they remain humble. No, I am doing nothing. I am not the doer. I am just an instrument. I am the doer. Doer is Krishna, but I am just doing some service. Krishna has given me intelligence and health and wealth and strength, so I am able to perform certain things. That's how a devotee will think. So let's see what is Yudhishthira Maharaj saying in this verse. Baladvija Suhan Mitra Pitru Bhratrur Guru Druha Namesya Niryan Moksho Ai Api Varsha Yuta Yutai.
I have killed many boys, brahmanas, well-wishers, friends, parents, preceptors, and brothers. Though I live millions of years, I will not be relieved from the hell that awaits me for all these things.
Hare Krishna. Preceptors means teachers or guru as preceptors. So in Prabhupada's purpose, Prabhupada says, whenever there is a war, there is certainly a massacre of many innocent living beings, such as boys, brahmanas, and women, whose killing is considered to be the greatest of sins. When a massacre, everybody dies, right? I mean, when a bomb doesn't know whether it is going on a military camp or it's falling in a civilian area. It doesn't know, it just falls and everybody dies. People die for no reason in war. They are all innocent creatures, and in all circumstances, killing of them is forbidden in the scriptures. Maharaj Yudhishthira was aware of these mass killing. Similarly, there were friends, parents, and preceptors also on both sides, and all of them were killed. It was simply horrible for him to think of such killing, and therefore he was thinking of residing in hell for millions and billions of years. He's thinking millions and billions of years. So this is such a brilliant thinking that he has got. So normally, when we do certain sadhana, seva, we think that I am going back to God. That's a thought process comes. I'm going back. Krishna, I'm doing so much, I'm chanting, I'm reading, why mercy is not coming? We start complaining for small things immediately. But even after billions of years, billions of birth that we do bhajan, sometimes we may not be able to go back to God. We still have to continue our bhajan. But here, Prabhupada is Yudhishthira Maharaj is feeling very sorry about it. So let's see some Shastra where great devotees are thinking that I am like a very fallen person, great devotee. So that's a humility. So this kind of thought will keep us humble, not get puffed up with pride. When we have knowledge, we have certain things, the position, wealth, we become puffed up and we make a lot of mistakes. Here, look at this. Here, Narottam Das Thakur is saying, he's saying, Mosama Patita Nai Tribhuvane Dekho Chai. Now, Narottam Das Thakur is the greatest Acharya in our parampara. He is saying, there is nobody more sinful than me in the whole planetary system. When Tulsidas was praying that, if I have done such a sinful activity, if I go to hell, all the people in the hell will run away because there will be bad smell. They say, oh, he has come, he's such a sinful person. They will run away, thinking that such a more sinful person has come there. He's thinking like that. And then Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, this will come in the verse. We are reading this chapter, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are reading this 5th chapter. We have not read this verse yet. But this verse will come here. Look at it. What is saying? Jagai madhai hete mutri te papista. He's saying, Muni se papista. He's saying, I am more sinful than Jagai and Madhai. And he says, Puri she rakita haita muni se lagista. He says, I am lower than the worm in the stool. He's considering himself such a lower. Now, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, who wrote this scripture, Chaitanya Charitamrita, that we are reading, and he, the author of this wonderful scripture, is saying, I am such a fallen soul. This is out of the humility. So similarly, we also have to be very, very humble. Very, very humble in anything that happens. We should never think that I'm great. Because the moment we feel that I'm proud, I'm great, I'm doing wonderful, then Maya will catch us. Immediately Maya will capture us. Pride will come, as in Bible says, right? In Bible it said, pride comes before the fall. So we'll fall down. Our bhakti will stop. We'll not have taste for chanting. We'll not lose taste to read scripture. We'll lose taste to get association with the devotee. This taste will go away. If we see this taste is getting lost, immediately we enter and should say, what am I doing? Why this taste is no longer there? What's happening? We'll start introspecting and course correct and come back on track. Because everybody goes through this kind of situation in life, but we have to come back on track and make sure we don't lose our focus on our sight to walk on the path of bhakti. It's very important. Okay. So in this verse, inapplicable rule. So what is the rule? Let's see. Verse number 50. Naino ragnah prajabhartur dharma yuddhe vadodvisham iti me natu bodhaya kalpate shasanam vachah.
I have killed many boys, brahmanas.
Oh, I think, sorry. I have, Matai, can you please read from there? I think I made a mistake. This is from 51. Sorry.
There is no sin for a king who kills for the right cause, who is engaged in maintaining his citizen. But this injunctions is not applicable to me.
Hare Krishna. So he's saying, see, for a king, a war is anyway there. And if they kill in the war, there's no implication on that because that happens. Right? But he's saying, I'm not following, I cannot accept this rule. This rule is not acceptable to me. He's saying I'm out of this. So I must be implicated for this thing. Normally what happens, we try to find laws to cover ourselves. he's getting covered. He says, no, but don't cover me there. Look at the humility that he has got. So this is a character exhibited by Yudhishthira Maharaj. No wonder he's called Dharmaraj. Right? He's Dharmaraj. So, Maharaj used, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport. Maharaj Yudhishthira thought that although he was not actually involved in the administration of the kingdom, which was being carried on well by Duryodhana without harm to the citizen, he caused the killing of so many living beings only for his personal gain of the kingdom from the hands of Duryodhana. The killing was committed not in the course of administration, but for the sake of self-aggrandizement. And as such, he thought himself responsible for all the sins. He was not a king. So he's saying, I'm not the king, so how can I fight and kill people? So he's thinking from that point of view. Not saying that righteous king should be established, but he's thinking, how can I do it? So basically, he's trying to find out fault in himself. This is my fault. I did it. Oh, I wanted this kingdom. Duryodhana was doing nice, no? He was doing anyway, it's good. But somehow I wanted that. So I should be implicated. So one important learning that comes from this, very important learning. So we should not apply law of karma on others. It is very insensitive. For example, let's say war happens or some massacre happens, many people die. Sometimes we may justify, oh, because of their karma, they must have died. But we should never think like that. It's very insensitive. Oh, Draupadi got this wrong. Oh, maybe her karma. Oh, so many people die. Oh, maybe their karma. No, we should not think like that. This is very insensitive. Even we see people around us and they're suffering, we should feel suffering for them. Oh, I'm so sorry he's suffering. Oh, no. Maybe he has done some karma, that's why he's suffering. Not that mood. That mood is not good. But when we see our suffering, then we should immediately think, oh, it is because of my past karma. Maybe I have done something wrong, that's why I'm suffering. That should be our mood. Because nobody knows how the karma works except Krishna. Nobody knows. So how can we think that why somebody is suffering and why to make the judgment that somebody is suffering? Because Vaishnava is what? Para dukkha dukhi and para sukha sukhi. That is Vaishnava. So if somebody is dukhi, then how can we say because of his suffering is because of his karma and I have no concern about it. We should not think like that. So this is very important learning that we can take from these words. That Vaishnava should be para dukkha dukhi, always. Not thinking that it is his karma. That might be very, very sensitive. Because in Brahma's prayer, which comes in 10th canto, where Brahmaji says that all this is because of my karma, because that's why I made that mistake. When he took the Krishna and Krishna's Gopas and all the cowherd boys and all the calf for 1 year. Then he said, oh, this mistake is, I made this mistake because of my past karma. So he's thinking like that. So when we make mistake, we should say this is because of my past karma. But when somebody else does, we should have the compassion for them. Not think that, oh, yeah, he did that, that's why he got it. Many times we say that, isn't it? No, he was talking that they're too much, Then now see, he's suffering. Immediately we correct. We have amazing analytic skill in that.
For sure.
We know for sure. Yes, it is because of this reason he did this. Immediately we say that. Because what happens when we see others fault, we become judge. And when our fault, we become the lawyer, advocate. Oh, no, I did because, I was thinking this way, oh, he told me we give 100 justifications. But when somebody else immediately becomes judgment, yes, this is the rule. Okay, then we immediately give the verdict. So we should in fact become other way. We should become advocate for others. No, maybe he's new devotee, maybe he doesn't know. It's okay. But for us, we should become judge. Oh, how can I do it? I know it. I have read it. I have listened to the class. I must be careful. I should not have done this. That should be our mode. This is what Here we can learn from this. So, okay. Last two verses for the chapter, then we conclude. Last 51. I cannot counteract. He cannot counteract. That's what he's saying. So what is coming here? Let's see. Yeah. Naino Ragnaha Praja. Sorry, I didn't mean 51. Sorry. Strinam Maddatta Bandhunam Droho Yos Sava Ihotiha Karmabir Grahamedhiyer Naham Kalpo Vayapohitam.
Expression. I have killed many friends of women, and I have thus caused enmity to such an extent that it is not possible to undo it by material welfare work.
Hare Krishna. Many times what happens? Something happens, and then what they get? The family members, some compensation. But does the compensation help? Not really. Not really, because a childless son of father, how can you compensate with few $100,000? Impossible. It is not possible to do that. So he's lamenting like that. He said, even if I give the best of the material life, I cannot compensate that. So I cannot undo what I have done. His lamentation is like that. So let's read the purport. So he's saying, Prabhupada explains this. The grey mages are those whose only business is to perform welfare work for the sake of material prosperity. Do welfare work for material prosperity. Give money and enjoy the VIP treatment, right? That is the poor. If I go to temple, I give charity, so I should be given front seat. I should be worshipped. My name should be there. All those things. Many people come like that. You know, the devotee come and say, "Yeah, I will give money, but I want my name on that wall." You know, big pillar. They all come and say that. That's fine. At least they are doing some service, so we accept that charity also. We put that name. That's fine. But people come with this. In India, when I go, many places, especially in the temple, you see all the benches are there ready to could sit and all that. They will written, on so and so person is given. On the fan, they will write. Even on the plate of the fan, they'll write name who has given. That's all those things. Even wall clock, yes, everywhere. So yeah, people want basically recognition that I did this, so I should be known by people. Like for example, when Prabhupada has started this life membership, in ISKCON life membership is there. And initially it is like 1,000 rupees only. Now it is like 35,000 or something, or whatever it is. So when people give 1,000 rupees, then they will also receive like books and so many things they will get, Mahaprasad, books and all those things. And this is life member, means whole life you can come and so much privilege you will get, life membership. So people think that this is a privilege, I become life member, now everything should be given. Like, I'll tell you one story, one incident. In India, in Thane, we used to do Janmashtami. So Janmashtami, we do Abhishek. Now Abhishek we do, there is such a huge event has happened. We spend, hundreds and thousands of rupees in that. And then some life member come. Can we do Abhishek? I'm life member. Oh, that's okay. But this is like paid. Like pay 1,000 rupees, you do Abhishek. 1,000 rupees is not nothing. It's not much. For it's like $15. That's not much. But people come and say, no, I'm life member. Can you please? Then they argue. Then somebody say, okay, so let him do it. Let's not argue because it spoils the mood of the festival, right? Devotee was serving, they will also not like it. And somebody who's seeing, they say, For 1,000 rupees, they are not allowing. Letting why? As a devotee, you are not allowing this. That's the thing. All right. But this is a mood. We should not have this kind of mood. Serving mood. Where will take this Lakshmi? Nothing. After death, all Lakshmi is used by others. They all enjoy it. Our relatives and family will enjoy it after death. The money is, Prabhupada used to say, any money that we keep in the bank, which is left in the bank after our death, is the extra work that we have done in our life. So, like that. Yeah. Further, Prabhupada says, such material prosperity is sometimes hampered by sinful activities. For the materialist, he is sure to commit sins, even unintentionally, in the course of discharging material duties. This happens. Any material duty we try to discharge, there is some sin which has happened. And we cannot do anything about it. To get relief from such sinful reaction, the Vedas prescribe several kinds of sacrifices. It is said in the Vedas that by performing the Ashwamegha Yajna, horse sacrifice, one can get relief from even Brahma Hatya, killing of Brahmana. Now, it is forbidden to perform Ashwamegha Yajna. And Ashwamegha means what? The horse is being killed in the Yajna. But at that time, it was like the horse is being killed, but immediately that horse will get human birth. So transformation. So for them, it's like a good thing, right? If somebody says, okay, I'm going to kill you, but you will go to Golok. Okay, take me. Isn't it? Haribol. I don't mind. So people think, oh, but you used to, that's why people sometimes get confused. Oh, they were doing Ashwamegha Yajna, they were killing horses, animals. Why you are saying no? At that time it was different. In Kali Yuga, this is forbidden. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told these things should not be performed. Nam Sankirtan is the only Yuga Dharma. It's called Yuga Dharma. Yudhishthira Maharaj performed this Ashwamegha Yajna, but he thinks that even by performing such yajnas, it is not possible to get relief from the great sins committed. He's thinking that it's not possible. Brahma Hatya is, one can get rid of Brahma Hatya if you perform Ashwamegha. But he thinks, I have done it, but I cannot, I should not be. So that's his lamentation. So much lamentation. He's giving reason after reason. It's like, a thief giving reasons why he should be put in the jail. No, please put me in jail. I did this, I did that, did that. So much thing. He's doing that, but he's such a pious person. In war, either the husband or the brother or even the father or son go to fight. And when they are killed, the fresh enemies are created. If father is killed, son becomes the enemy. His brother becomes the enemy. So you are killing one enemy, but creating more enemies, multiple. Thus, a chain of actions and reaction increases, which is not possible to be counteracted even by thousands of Ashwamedha yajnas. So it's not possible because you are creating enemies after enemies. How many people you will keep killing and fighting? The way of work, which is karma, is like that. It creates one action and another reaction simultaneously and thus increases the chain of material activities, binding the performer in the material bondage. We see this material world as like a banyan tree. We get so much intertwined that we don't know where the head is, where the tail is, nothing. We get so much. That's why our karma, we think that we are doing normal activities, but every karma that we are performing, it is binding us. It's either pious activity or impious activity. And both are binding in this world. Both will force us to come back in this material world. Pious activity will take us to heavenly planets, but again we have to come back. Impious activity will take us to lower planetary system, but it's still in this material world. So both are binding. Only if we do devotional service, that's the only where there is no karma. Otherwise, karmas are going to bind us and we will have to take again another birth. And we don't know what that birth will be. This is the opportunity for all of us to do nice bhajan and go back to God. Only in this life. This life we have got association of devotees. This life we have got such wonderful scriptures. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. This life We have got wonderful bhajans, ashtakams that we can recite. This life, we have got temples where we can go and worship. We can get association, eat nice prasadam. So there is no excuse we have that, oh, I wish Krishna I had this, I would have done nice bhajan and come back to you. We have everything. The only thing is our mind has to be fixed in bhajan. Only then we can go back. This is very important. In the Bhagavad Gita, the remedy is suggested that such actions and reactions of the path of work can be checked only when work is done on the behalf of the Supreme Lord, which is devotional service. The battle of Kurukshetra was actually fought by the will of Supreme Lord Krishna, as it is evident from his version. The only and only by his will was Yudhishthira placed on the throne of Hastinapur. Only because of that it happened. Therefore, factually, no sin whatsoever touched the Pandavas, who were only the order carriers of the Lord. For others who declare war out of personal interest, the whole responsibility lies on them. So, if Lord's actions, if Krishna says, okay, we need to do this, and then we do it, then there is no sin created. Because we are doing on behalf of Krishna. But if we do out of personal will that I want to rule, so I'm going to kill this, then that is our own karma. So Prabhupada explained that Yudhishthira Maharaj should not have any lamentation. He should not think that I am sinful because he's doing all on behalf of Krishna. But out of that humility, and Krishna wants to glorify Yudhishthira Maharaj and Bhishma Devi later, he is making Yudhishthira Maharaj feel like that. Last verse for today, and also of the chapter. So here he's saying atonement cannot purify. Atonement. We think that sometimes we do sinful activity and then we do atonement. Right? Like in Christianity, one can go on Sunday and then atonement with Father. Father, I did a sin. But if they keep committing, like every Sunday they come and I did the sin, I did the sin, I mean, that is no point. Right? So in the first chapter that we read, Parikshit Maharaj, and I think in the second chapter, yes, he is saying that this praschit is like a bath, kunjar, bath. Kunjar means elephant bath. So how does elephant take bath? Elephant goes into the water, makes himself clean, very nice, then comes out, takes the mud and puts on his body. It's a kunjar bath. So lamentation like this, atonement is like a kunjar bath. We atonement, saying I did the sin, which is fine, which is good. But then we should not commit. Then we again do it. Then again we go, oh, I did it. Again I go, come back, I did it. Now that is of no use. Then atonement means I say I did it, I will not go and do it. And we stop in future. We don't do that even for one moment. But that's not the case. So that's why he's saying atonement cannot purify. So let's read the last verse. Yatha pankena pankambha suraya vasurakratam bhutahatyam tathaevaikam na yagnir sutam arhati. Yes, Naren, can you please read?
It's not possible to filter muddy water through mud or purify a wine-stained pot with wine. It is not possible to counteract the killing of men by sacrificing animals.
Very good. So you see, very beautiful examples are given here. Yudhishthira Maharaj is giving this wonderful example. If you want to clean water which is muddy, if you pass through the pipe which is muddy, will it get clean? No, it will get further muddy. Similarly, if you have a pot of wine, you can't clean that with wine again. It's going to have the stains. So he's giving these wonderful examples, and then Prabhupada explains further in the purport. Ashwamegh Yagyas or Gomeda Yagya, sacrifice in which a horse or a bull is sacrificed, were not, of course, for the purpose of killing the animals. Lord Chaitanya said that such animals sacrificed on the altar of Yagya were rejuvenated and a new life was given to them. It was just to prove the efficacy of the hymns of the Vedas. By recitation of the hymns of the Vedas in the proper way, certainly the performer gets relief from the reactions of sins. But in case of such sacrifices, improperly done under inexpert management, surely one has to become responsible for animal sacrifice. So today, if we go and find, we don't have proper Brahmana who can recite these verses. See, these verses from the Vedas, they have to be recited in a proper meter, a correct pronunciation, because if we make a mistake, then it will be ineffective. In fact, sin will come. And we don't see those Brahmanas like that today. Very rarely we find somebody who could recite those verses from Vedas because they are very complicated. They are not as simple as what we are reading here in Bhagavatam. So we don't have those Brahmanas who can recite those verses, and then we don't have the pure samagri, like whatever that we need for all the ingredients for performing yajna. We don't get them very pure. So if you perform those yajna now, they are going to be ineffective. There won't be any effect, and therefore the yajnas are forbidden in this Kali Yuga. Only yajna which is given is Harinam Sankirtan yajna. You just have to chant. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, which is Kali Yuga, there is no possibility of performing the yajnas perfectly for want of expert brahmanas who are able to conduct such yajnas. Maharaj Yudhishthira therefore gives a hint to performing sacrifices in the age of Kali. He's saying that this is not going to be helpful. This means if you are trying to atone because of our sins by performing yajna, is going to be ineffective. He's giving that hint here itself. In the Kali Yuga, the only sacrifice recommended is the performance of Hari Nam Yajna, inaugurated by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But one should not indulge in animal killing and counteract it by performing the Hari Nam Yajna. So we say, okay, we'll do sacrifice and we'll keep chanting. Right? But one of the offense in the Harinam, again, Harinam is what? Continuing to do sinful activity on the power of mantra. Oh, mantra is very powerful. It takes away sin. Because it is mentioned in Shastra that one Harinam, one Shuddhanam can take away the sins that we cannot even commit. That's the power of one Shuddha Harinam. The number of sin that we cannot even count and commit, one Harinam can take away all that. So now if we know this knowledge, oh, I know it, so I can commit sins and now I can chant. That's not going to work. See, once the knowledge has come, then we cannot say, I don't know. Right? For example, if we are new in the US and we are driving a car and suddenly cop stops, oh, I am just 15 days in US, I don't know. No. You are here, so you should have known the rules, right? And you'll be fine. The same thing, if you know this and if you keep committing, before coming to Krishna consciousness and we did not know this rule and we are committed, those will be forgiven. Those will be forgiven. But once we know it, and then if we keep committing, saying that, no, Harinam is there, it will save me, then that is not going to work. So that is what is being told here. So we have to be very careful. Those who are devotees of the Lord never kill an animal for self-interest, as the Lord ordered Arjuna. They do not refrain from performing the duty of Kshatriya. The whole purpose, therefore, is served when everything is done for the will of the Lord. This is possible only for the devotees. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the first canto, 8th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Prayers by Queen Kunti and Parikshit Sev. Hare Krishna. So here it is mentioned that everything we should perform for the service of the Lord. And this is only possible by the devotees. A non-devotee will not even know what to do, how to do. Right? So I was in North Carolina. I came back just today, the last 2 days. I was there. And I was meeting one friend. We have spoken. He's from some place in Chennai.